Welcome back to my channel. My name is Phi and this is Money Philosophy. Today we will continue with our technical analysis in Tesla. Tesla ended today at $781.53. So let's take a look at chart to see what the price action would look like tomorrow and the rest of the week. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I am a growth stock investor and a trader, and I'd love to share with you my investing and trading journeys. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Before we get to the Tesla analysis, let's take a look at the QQQ and the S&P 500, which kind of give us a general sense on the market today. QQQ ended today at $352, down over 2% from last week. You can see that the daily candle here is completely bearish. The volume is above average at 189%, but the vast majority of that is sell volume. We note that there is a RSI divergence here, which means that it's probably going to get to the extreme level pretty soon and start bouncing. So the RSI divergence, meaning that the RSI is going up while price is going down, which tells me that there should be a reversal coming up pretty soon here. Although I do think that QQ would probably get to the extreme first, which is around 344, 340 before bouncing. That is, after all, only about $8 from here. Let's take a look at SPY. SPY here on the daily is also trading between 50 days SMA, which is the white dotted line here, and 200 days SMA, which is the red dotted line here. SPY is not as bearish as the QQQ, but it is still also bearish with a continuation of making lower low and higher low. Right now, the 200 days SMA for SPY would be $412, so it does have another $16 to go. That is the current outlook. The volume is also 166%, pretty substantial, but the vast majority of that volume is sell volume today. We also note that there is RSI divergence on the SPY, so it looks like both Spider and QQQ are looking to bounce at some point. So if tomorrow we see a strong sell-off in the morning, we might head to the extreme level and then we start turning around. So with that in mind, let's take a look at Tesla. So here is my daily chart for Tesla, and you can see that the daily candle is pretty bearish. Tesla high point of the day was about $807 and start retracing back. As I indicated in yesterday's video, $777, which is this green line here, is a very strong support for Tesla, and sure enough, it touched that and bounced. But the daily candle does not look very good here. Unlike the S&P 500 and the QQQ, Tesla is trading well above 50 days SMA and 200 days SMA. So in a way, it does have room to fall as a correction before moving back up. So keep that in mind. The volume today is 171%, which is also substantial and in line with the rest of the market. Note that the volume is also predominantly sell volume. There is a RSI divergence here, but the exact opposite divergence of the indexes, which is kind of worrisome for the bulls. So we note that Tesla price been trending slightly up from this point to this point, whereas RSI has been moving down. So as Tesla make a newer high, a recent high, RSI did not move up. So that could be a sign for divergence, although I'm not too quick to say that this is a completely reversal candle. If we are taking a look at the support levels for Tesla, first we see 777, as I mentioned, then we see 762 and then 746. 50 days SMA right now is at 722, which is about $60 from here. 200 days SMA is 702, which is about $80 from here. We do note that the golden cross was formed back in late August, early September time frame. So Tesla is technically very bullish in the overall longer term trend, but on the short term, it does look like it could retrace a little bit, or at the very least consolidating around $777 level before making a move. From a fundamental standpoint, as I share with you time and again, I strongly believe in Tesla, so I do not think that anyone that is Tesla shareholder should be selling at this point. At least I'm not selling at this point. I'm actually buying. So I'm looking for Tesla stock to retrace as an opportunity to buy. Needless to say, days that Tesla turned red, which probably would be imminent, my account, which is predominantly Tesla, would be very red, and it could be very sad to see it on a temporary level, but since I'm not looking to sell anytime soon, the red or the unrealized loss for the day is just that, unrealized, and it's just temporary. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. On the hourly chart here, as you can see that Tesla moved up first thing in the morning, reached almost 807, and then start retracing. It did not move all the way down to the middle pivot point at 773, and it did not touch anywhere near the bottom pivot point at 756. Tomorrow trading range includes on the upper end 819, middle pivot point is 788, and the bottom pivot point is 769. So I also want to share with you one of my trades today for Tesla. I mentioned yesterday that I would be considering a put, which is a short-term trade for when Tesla spiking up, and that is a good opportunity to short Tesla on a short-term basis. Once again, I want to reiterate that I'm a Tesla bull and I am a shareholder in Tesla. I believe in the company, but I do take occasional trades to catch the momentum and the volatility. I also want to clarify that my channel is not a signal giving channel, because I don't think that a successful trade just based on a single signal. You really need to acquire a full set of knowledge and really have to understand your own strategy given your risk tolerance and fund availability. So I don't want to give the wrong impression that I'm giving trade signals here. I'm also a human. I'm not always right. But I'm sharing with you the information so that we can all learn together as to why the trade was successful and based on what indicator. So with that out of the way, let's get into the trade. So I took a trade for a $780 strike price, a put option expiring this week, October 8th at 9:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you could see that going to the 1 minute chart here, the trade that I took at 9:33 Eastern Standard Time is right at this candle here. Again, this is a 1 minute chart. So as you can see that I entered the trade at 9:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's right around this candle. This is a 1 minute chart, by the way. And then the stock went up a little bit more and then retraced. So at this point, which is 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, I did have a mini profit, but I was hoping for a lot bigger profit. So I held on to my trade, and by 10:07, which is almost 45 minutes into my trade, I already lost some money. But I believe that Tesla would sell the news almost always after delivery result, whether good news or bad news. So I held on, and sure enough, the stock fell, which caused my trade to be profitable. So the key here is patient, right? I could have entered the trade here. I could have entered the trade here, but in hindsight, it's very easy to say. But my strategy is that when the stock get to about 793, 799 level, which is exactly what I shared in yesterday's video, that is a good opportunity to enter a put option. And that's exactly what I did. Did it work out immediately? No, but did it work out eventually? Yes. So I did exit the trade at 11:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I exit the trade around this candle. So let me zoom it back in a little bit. So I entered the trade right around here, and I exit the trade at 11:43, which is 8:43 my time right here. The stock did move up a little bit against my trade and then start moving back down, moving sideways a little bit and back down. The reason I exit the trade here is because it hit the pivot point here. So when it hit the pivot point here, it is a cue for me to take profit. The reality is that it continued to move sideways a little bit and hit 777, which is a strong support that I indicated yesterday, and I could exit there. So I left a few $100 on the table. I made a total of about $430 on the trade. So it's not a ginormous amount, and I usually don't look at day trade as an opportunity to profit significantly because I do not have time to look at the minute by minute chart to react to it timely enough. I pick a general setup based on the circumstances around the stock that I think would materialize and give me the best probability to materialize, and that's how I execute. Back to the weekly chart here, I think that Tesla is still making progress just fine on the weekly chart, but if it does retrace anywhere near $746 this week, then that is a bearish engulfing candle, which could potentially signal further downside. Some of you have asked me when is the best opportunity to buy Tesla or at what price. Once again, I think at this point, if the stock gets to 722, which is 50 days SMA, that's a good opportunity to buy. 746 is also a decent point to buy as well. So either at 746, 722, or 702, which is 200 days SMA, I would be buying a little bit of Tesla in either one of those levels. Heavier, of course, at 722 and 702. But the weekly chart right now still looks okay. I know that we're only Monday, only one day into the week, but I think the weekly chart still looks pretty solid at this point. Tomorrow, if Tesla does not make any new high and hold that level tomorrow, then chances are the stock will consolidate and fall. If Tesla somehow make new high and ended the day on the high note, let's say, A15 or above, which is the pivot point, then this bearish engulfing candle might be canceled, meaning that the trend is still changing even with this bearish engulfing candle. I think that is less likely. I think it is either going to retrace and fall to about 772, possibly lower, or it would consolidate around 785 level, waiting to fall at some point in the near future. So once again, the odd favors the downside over to the upside at this point. But I would be waiting for the extreme condition in order to A, buy more shares, and B, add a call option at some point in the near future. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm not so much of buying puts at this point just yet. So hopefully the information is helpful to you guys. Until the next video, bye.